Falke is finally here, and while the trailer does only give us a sneak peek of what she can do, Capcom also released a full article that describes her attacks in more detail, so please sit back and allow me to break down everything that Falke can do. Let's start off with her projectiles. Now these projectiles are actually charged by holding down a punch button, which you can then release in 3 different ways. Releasing a punch button while standing will fire a straightforward projectile, pretty typical to what you see in Street Fighter V. Whereas releasing the button while crouching will fire a projectile from her prone position. This will be perfect for countering characters like Guile, who love to zone and throw projectiles. And lastly, releasing a punch button from the air will fire an angled projectile at the ground. This will be perfect for countering anti-airs, as long as they aren't fully invincible. And keep in mind you can also cancel these projectiles from normal attacks, just like every other fireball. Now let's talk about her other special moves. Much like Ed, Falke's special attacks are performed with just buttons, no motion inputs required. Pressing 2 punches will do her uppercut, though I'm not sure how invincible this move is or if it has an EX version. Pressing 2 kicks does her lunging attack, which is great for ending combos and knocks the opponent down, so it may be good for Oki pressure. And we also see the EX version of this move as well, which is great for extending combos during her V-trigger. Falke's V-skill has her spinning her staff and knock the opponent down. This move is great for ending combos and can also reflect projectiles, but only during her V-trigger 2. And during her V-trigger 1, she can actually cancel this move into her projectiles. But let's go ahead and cover her V-triggers in more detail. V-trigger 1 allows Falke to fire her projectiles manually. This is done by pressing V-trigger again, or heavy punch plus heavy kick. You no longer have to hold the button. These projectiles also do more damage as well, and the air version even bounces off the ground, allowing for some awesome fireball pressure. You can also cancel the standing and crouching projectiles into one another. And last but not least, every staff attack does more damage as well, which is why you see the opponent glowing purple whenever they're hit by it. Now let's move on to her next V-trigger. V-trigger 2 attacks the opponent immediately and does pretty good damage by the looks of it. After activating the V-trigger, pressing heavy punch plus heavy kick will do a sweeping attack that's great for ending combos. If you press this same input while crouching, we'll have Falke leaping forward and attack downward. This likely hits overhead and is great for starting off combos. During this V-trigger, Falke can also cancel her special moves into each other for some truly creative and flashy combos. And as mentioned earlier, she can also use her V-skill to reflect projectiles during this V-trigger. Now that's about it for the article, but we do see a few more things happening in the trailer. For example, Falke has a dive kick that aims straight down and resets the opponent, allowing you to follow up with an air attack on the way down. But do be warned, this looks very easy to Dragon Punch. We also see her doing a standing low attack that looks like a unique attack, but there's no way to confirm that just yet. In summary, Falke is looking like a very powerful anti-zoner. Many of her attacks are perfect for countering projectiles and other forms of keep away. So if you hate fighting Guile, then Falke might be the perfect character for you. Now many people have pointed out how stiff her animations look, and as an animator myself, I do agree. But perhaps we're not seeing the final version. I also agree that her critical art is somewhat anticlimactic. It starts off really cool, but then she just smacks him over the head a couple of times. I was honestly expecting some badass pile driver move or something along those lines. At any rate, that concludes the breakdown. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment too. How do you feel about Falke? And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.